TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to another week of TGR News.
Welcome, welcome.
Well, we had once again, like we always do, we like to show the people what we did with the with our food distribution. It had a different feeling this time because usually, we just went into the to the winter clock.
Yeah.
So we fell back an hour, and so it was all in the dark. But yeah, it really was. It's you guys are helping, and I believe more is coming. So when you see these videos and us talking about feeding the people here in Israel who really need it, all you got to do is go to the links below the video, or go to thegoldenreport.com and go to our support page and become a supporter and help us out with this.
Yes. And not only that, they can go to the website and see what all we do, and the letters that Dad, of course, people that's been with us a while know I call my husband Daddy. He writes good articles.
Oh, absolutely, of course. He wrote a couple good books too.
Yes, he wrote some good books.
Well, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Okay. Well, this week, Israel all over the country had some sirens tests, and it was on Wednesday. And this whole thing is about getting ready, because you could tell Israel's really getting ready for, I think they're
expecting an attack.
Yeah, expecting something like 2,000 rockets a day attack.
Yeah.
That's insane, 2,000 rockets and missiles coming in a day. Well, that was going on Wednesday. So I mean, you had these sirens going off, checking everything, and the officials were going around checking all the public bunkers and bomb shelters and everything.
It's good that they're taking it serious.
Yeah, of course. Well, Mansour Abbas from the Ram party, in the coalition, the Arab coalition, the Arab party in Bennett's coalition, was in Gaza and photographed with a high-ranking official, Hamas. Okay, and this is the same time that Bennett gave him 5.2 billion shekels in the budget, and he gave it straight to the Hamas.
Yes, straight for missiles for us.
Yeah, okay, so now tax-paying Israelis are paying for their own terrorist attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. That's crazy. I mean, how much longer can that be going on? Stuff like that. It's just
it's amazing. It's all spiritual. It's it's the only way you can explain.
And this is all with a prime minister that had less than 5% of the public vote.
I know.
Right?
I know. No one wanted him, and here he is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Does that sound familiar in some countries?
Yeah. Well, the high-ranking Hamas official that was was with Mansour Abbas, our Arab party leader in the coalition.
Yeah.
The Hamas official was quoted saying, "Thank you for everything, Mansour Abbas." Okay. Thank you for what?
Yeah.
We know what for, but
yeah. Thank you for helping us supply the weapons we need.
Thank you for getting in Bennett's budget deal and giving us the money, right? That's what they're saying. And anyway, they did it by Mansour Abbas did it by night. You couldn't exactly just go deposit it in Hamas's bank account. So there is a foundation called 48.
Yeah.
It's the 48 Foundation. It's a non-profit foundation, and that's what Hamas one of many places the Hamas uses to move their money through.
Oh, a lot of the terrorist organizations have all of these back doors to get their money.
Yeah, and so that's where Mansour Abbas put the money in so that Hamas could take it out.
Yeah.
Well, this week Israel just got more expensive to live in.
Like everywhere else.
Yeah, I'll go through the list here. I'm going to read it so I don't mess it up.
Okay.
The property tax went up 2%. Gas went up by 25 cents. Food costs just went up on an average of 20%. And that affects the feeding of the families for us as well.
Yes.
Just a note. And all the plastic products, like the plastic plates and stuff and all that kind of stuff, went up by 100%.
Yeah.
And many other things across the board. Yeah. And gas going up always causes everything to go up.
Yeah, and people don't realize it, but the gas here, people around the world will complain about their gas, how much it is a gallon, but ours has always been way more.
Yeah, right now I think it's around if I'm correct, I think it's around $5 or $6. No, it's $6 or $7 a gallon right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Israel attacked Hezbollah targets in Syria this week again, using long-range missiles. That was different though, and also it was different because they did it in the middle of the day. And
they must have had some intelligence that needed to be done right now.
It was basically Iran sending a convoy of trucks full of missiles and all kinds of arms and stuff, going through Syria to get to Hezbollah. And when it was out in the middle of nowhere where we know we could have got it, Israel did ground-to-ground missile, long-range missiles, and just took out the convoy.
That's good, because you never know if there's going to be some biological chemicals in some of those warheads that they're sending and missiles they're sending to Hamas.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, it was a little bit different because Israel. Two things: Israel doesn't really use ground-to-ground. And because they usually like to use the fighter planes because it's more accurate and everything, but this was a situation where it was out in the middle of nowhere, and so it was safer, and it was in the middle of the day. Yeah, so
that is a little bit different.
Well, this week on the 1st of November, the Israel finally opened up their borders for tourists, and it's been closed for about a year.
Oh yeah.
But there's a catch, obviously, like everywhere else in the world. You have to have your vaccine proof and all that stuff. Yeah.
Or I think it's also if you can prove that you've been you have the natural immunity because you've gone,
you've had the corona and you've got that's true. Yes.
So at least they're not just saying only vaccinated people.
Yeah.
So I don't think they should stop anybody, but I'm from America, so I believe in free choices.
Yeah. Well, Likud did something a little interesting this week too.
Yeah.
The Likud party, my favorite party.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we're Likud fans.
And they passed a new bylaw in their party booklet.
That's a good one as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. This week they passed a law saying that for now and in the future, the Likud party can never sign with an Arab party to make a coalition.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
That's great. The only reason they did that is because of
Bennett.
What Bennett did with this coalition, and in light with all this money with the budget
going to
the terrorists.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were ever planning on making coalitions with Arab parties, but it's politics, So they just did this to make a lot of noise to show the people, don't worry about us.
Yeah.
We ain't doing it, which I knew they wouldn't anyway. But
but
it's good. It's a good move. I'm glad they did it.
Yeah. Well, it's like any other country. You people will vote for this party because that's what the party they believe in, and then they see all this bad stuff happening, then they shift over. Oh, maybe we better go back over to this party.
Yeah.
So.
Well, all this stuff is going on where it looks like war is imminent. 2,000 rockets a day, money going into Hamas agents from our Prime Minister Bennett's budget, and all this is going on this week. And then Bennett, our Prime Minister, where he had to take care of some really important business, so he went to the climate change conference in Glasgow.
Yes.
Yeah, what was real important right now to do. I'm not saying that climate control, this climate heating, global warming thing is a joke. I'm not saying any of that.
No,
but I'm just saying that sometimes you just got to have your priorities straight.
And keeping your country safe has a higher priority.
Israel got a score I don't know who did it. I just it was just mentioned on the news. But a score of 0, meaning a country that's taking moves to make their country greener and less greenhouse gases and stuff. So we got the lowest score, 0.
So he didn't need to go.
Yeah,
he needed to stay home and protect his land.
Yeah. So, but Bennett, when he was there, he promised that by the year of 2050, Israel will be a green country and having a score of 100, meaning we'd be a 100% green country.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, Israel. You got to cut Israel some slack every once in a while.
Oh yeah,
Israel really is, and as a person dealing with boats and being in the water out here in the Mediterranean, Israel is very dirty, and the rivers are dirty, and but you got to cut it some slack. First of all, it's one of the youngest Western countries in the world. It is the youngest Western country in the world, I believe. It's only been 7 decades. And we had to build all of these infrastructure, all of these buildings. When you travel around Israel, it's hard to fathom sometimes all this happened in 70 years. and under all this pressure of war and everything else, and battles and everything, all the history that Israel's gone through, you got to cut a little bit of slack. I'm not saying it's okay, but I mean, you got to cut her some slack.
Yeah, they do need to, clean themselves up.
Oh, yeah,
the
absolutely.
country.
Okay, another thing is this Dr. Price. Dr. Price in Israel, she's like the front woman
Yeah.
of to explain to the government's decisions about Corona and everything. She's the lady, she's the face you see as an Israeli, who's telling you how to get vaccinated, when to get vaccinated, and now this new thing, vaccinating your kids, and all that stuff. So this week she's received a large number of threats, death threats actually, on her life, after Israel said that they were going to vaccinate the children. Yeah, so she's had to gone under heavy security details and everything else.
And I still don't understand why they keep saying that when the WHO, the World Organization, says it's not important. It's not that necessary.
Yeah, that's just. I don't care what anybody says. I think we all need to use our own head, including our world leaders.
Yeah.
Use your own. It don't matter who says what. Think about it.
Yeah.
If
Search
the kids,
it out. Search it out.
Well, anyway, today our favorite coalition here, Bennett's coalition, made a new kosher law, and it took effect today. Now kosher certificates are no longer in the hands of the rabbis. It's open to private companies. Meaning you and I can go open up a company tomorrow saying, we are going to hand out kosher certificates to restaurants and anything that deals with food, grocery stores and everything. And it's okay. It's great.
I think it's you have some good points about this and some bad points. The rabbis took it way too far, because I know people don't realize, like the kosher, if your restaurant's kosher, you had to be closed on Shabbat, besides other things. It was a lot of stuff involved in being kosher. And I think, that kosher really means your food more than anything. And,
well, you talk to a religious person, kosher means a lot more than your food.
I know. That's why I said I think.
Like if I buy a bag of potato chips, the same bag of potato chips that has the kosher certificate to that a religious person, an Orthodox Jew would buy and eat, but I bought it at a store that is open on Shabbat, that bag of potato chips isn't kosher and he won't eat it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying the rabbis took it way too far, and there's just a lot of things that I do believe the scriptures that you're supposed to honor the Shabbat. The Shabbat is for man, not man for the Shabbat. So, but it's a lot of controversy around the world. Whether you're Christians, Jew, or what, about all of that.
Yeah, I've said it a few times, and there's a lot of issues with the Orthodox Jews in the government here and all the laws, and like the kosher laws and everything else that need to be addressed and fixed and tweaked and whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't agree at all that we should take it away from them or anything.
Oh, no.
But if you can't lose the Jewish part of the Jewish state and still be Israel.
Exactly. That's why I said this thing is it has its good points and its bad points. Maybe the religious Jews will that are over the board will realize, oh, you know what, we went too far. We need to do it biblical, not what we think we ought to do.
The religious Knesset members in the government here called Bennett a traitor for all these anti-Jewish policies that he keeps passing. This is just one of many. This whole thing, this is your prime minister that walks around with a kippah on, acting like he's a religious Jew, right?
Yeah.
And he's taking the kosher law away from the rabbis. He's making the laws of Israel keeping the Shabbat less and less to where Israel's not keeping the Shabbat anymore.
And that's not good.
And so this is so they were right by calling him a traitor, taking away all these Jewish policies.
Well, the Bible tells you, that God said, if you keep the Shabbat, I'll fight the wars for you, So it's very important that Israel stays Jewish, like you said, So it's like a catch-22. The religious people need to stay biblical about the stuff and not add all this extra stuff that, that creates problems for everybody else, but still needs to be biblically kosher, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, the last thing we'll talk about is the budget. The budget's since Thursday has been going through a marathon of votes through the government. And it won't be 100% final till the 14th of November. But by the end of today, actually, by the end of Friday, it will be more or less know what's going to happen. But that's our last chance to get Bennett out.
Yeah.
Because if the budget don't pass, then the coalition don't stand. And
then you have to go to elections.
And if the budget passes, that not only means Bennett stays in office and all these anti-Jewish policies and giving money to the
terrorists,
Hamas, and all this keeps going on. And not only that, but then that means he's going to be able to finish out his term. But that also means Lapid, which is next in line with this last election, will take office for sure too if they get this budget done.
And he's worse than Bennett.
So maybe we should all pray about that, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be best for Israel, not for this budget doesn't pass. So it's a big deal.
We've got some serious things going on here besides the imminent of war.
Absolutely, it's like as usual. It's always something here, and it's a slow pressure cooker of getting more and more and more, and you're just waiting for it to bust. One day it will. Well, that'll be it for the news. You got anything you want to say?
No, I'm just. We've been really blessed with people watching the YouTube and supporting and helping us, and I said before, we enjoy your comments. Keep your comments coming.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I asked you if you have something to say. You say no, and then you go into what you had to say. But I'm used to that too.
Well, when you say you have anything to say, I'm thinking, oh, you think maybe I want to say something real important.
Well, what you said was important. But so we do appreciate it, and we do need everyone to come on board more and more. Go talk to your friends. Tell everyone about we're trying to grow here and feed people here in Israel. These people are really hungry, and we make sure we find the ones who really need it. So go ahead up to the goldenreport.com or the links below and to the support page, and support us in our missions and feeding the Jews and keeping the boat ministry going and everything else. So until next week, bye bye.
God bless. Bye bye.